So, what else is new with me? I would say that I'm gonna be starting to have more free days because the TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, that I've been undergoing, that's coming to an end. We're in the taper, so I'm doing it every other day. So tomorrow I had off, so I can actually do whatever the fuck I want tomorrow, which is amazing. Thursday I go back in. Friday I have off, and then the weekend I have off. Yep, no plans. Yeah. And then Monday I have to go out, and I can't remember my schedule for next week. But there's just a lot more days off, and this entire month and a half or 2 months, I've been having to go out every single day, which actually is pretty hard for me with my disability. So this is like, and before that I had not tried going outside every single day in like 2 years. So this has been like quite an experiment for me the past couple months. Hey, Venturi. So it's been cool, but I'm really happy to have some days off. And the TMS, I would say, it's not a magic fix for depression. Oh, thank you, Venturi. How are you doing? Are you a Doom fan? TMS it has an amazing success rate for treatment-resistant depression, but it's like 58%. But I wouldn't say it's a magic fix. I would say that it's cleared my head, because what it does is it excites your neurons. This is science. This is not alternative medicine. This is like Mayo Clinic is putting a shitload of research and money into this. Ever since FDA approved it in 2015. So anyway, it's been really interesting. I would say that it's cut through a lot of the mental fog that I've developed the past couple years, and I feel like able to express myself better. I feel like my social anxiety is actually a little bit better, but I think streaming is also responsible for that, for helping with that. And then my sleep isn't better, unfortunately, but I've been more productive during the day instead of just zoning out and going brain dead and watching Netflix. So there's improvements for sure. There's more work to be done. So if you guys are interested in TMS, it costs around $1,400 when insurance covers it. That's like your copay. So it's a little expensive, but if you have treatment-resistant depression, it is really exciting results for 58% of people who do it. So let me know if you have any questions about it. It's kind of an interesting thing. If you've never heard of it and you deal with those problems a lot, you should look into it. Not sure if it's a thing in Australia. It might be. You should look into it. TMS. Yeah, US is all about it right now, because it's definitely a breakthrough treatment. Like that, we have not found a treatment with results that are that good yet, except for ketamine and like some of those other experimental sort of new treatments, which are a bit extreme. TMS is completely safe unless you have a seizure disorder, then it can cause seizures. But if you don't have a seizure disorder, then like the side effect is headaches, and honestly, it's been like my skull feels like there's bruising on it, but it's not that bad. It just during it's really uncomfortable. It feels like a woodpecker is pecking inside your skull. It's a weird sensation. It doesn't feel great, but honestly, it shouldn't at all make you afraid, because I totally got used to it. I was like having conversations during it, like it's not anything, you know. But yeah, it's made me feel more awake during the day. So I do think so. I hope this is entertaining for some people at least. I'm sorry if I'm boring anyone, but the concept behind it is that people with treatment-resistant depression usually have some dark, like activity, like they have fewer firing neurons in the left frontal lobe of your brain. Your right frontal lobe has to do with anxiety more so than depression, but the left lobe apparently kind of goes dark in people with long-term depression, and that can cause like that, and that's sort of like an explanation behind a lot of the fog you get and a lot of the cognitive problems that you can develop with like short-term memory and stuff like that when you're super depressed and for a long period of time. So anyway, what that does is it tries to it excites the neurons so that it starts kind of building those pathways again that could help you kind of react and fight against the depression instead of, sink back into it. So it should always be paired with, therapy. It's not like you have to be like actually practicing good habits, good sleep hygiene, and trying to be productive during the day after you've had your treatment, because that's what's helping sort of build those pathways and retrain your brain to think more clearly and be more active and less depressed. So isn't that interesting? It's neat science, and I can tell. You can definitely tell after the treatment, at least after a week. You can tell right after the treatments that your brain is just more awake. And in fact, I've tried to go to sleep. There's like two or three times where I didn't get enough sleep that night, and I slept right after the treatment. I had the most vivid, weird nightmares that I've ever had because my brain was excited, and like my body was tired and let me go to sleep, but my brain obviously was not, wanting to shut off. So it's interesting. You can definitely tell it's doing something. But the real test now is in my taper. So I'm now tapering off of it, and I have to keep using my brain and getting excited. It's been 8 minutes and we still haven't gotten any hot rockets, damn it. I'm gonna add back deathmatch. But yeah, the real test is in the taper, because I do have to keep up those good habits and keep making my brain active so that I'm not... Yeah, sucks. So that I'm not gonna fall back into, like go into remission again. And I've been much more depressed in my life, like 2013. I've had like past trouble with being suicidal. I've had a rough life. I've had a really fucked up life. But now compared to then, it's like you can't compare them. I'm doing a lot better, but I wanted to try TMS to sort of tip the scales on the cognitive issues that I was starting to develop, because I was getting a lot of just permanent sort of grogginess and like confusion, and it's annoying, but that is definitely improved. So I recommend it, and we'll see how it goes when I'm completely off the treatment after the taper, because that's when I'll really have to start to carve out the routine in my life, and figure out how to continue making improvements in therapy and all that, like on my own without the TMS. They do a booster session, or like a booster series, after like a while. I don't know how long, but only if you need it, and it kind of like reminds your brain again. But we'll see. Insurance doesn't always cover that. But it's cool. Insurance did cover this whole treatment. I mean, I had to pay a big copay, but yeah, I mean, I'm doing better than I was, but this has been a really hard year. I'm on short-term disability for hand problems. Being disabled, having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome really fucking sucks. So not only did I have this shittiest fucking childhood that I could ask for, alcoholic father, abusive, blah blah blah. Icon of sin created me, tried to create me in his image and mold me, and it's a fucking... Anyway, but I escaped that, and and basically since then have had a kind of shitty, difficult life with my disability that I inherited from him, by the way, most likely. So it's been rough. It's been a rough road, but I have learned a shitload, and I'm super proud about that. I'm super proud of the progress I've made, because I think I can safely say I'm not afraid of getting suicidal again, unless like something really shitty happened. But I'm in a much better place in that respect. I do have leagues to go to get back to fucking work first and see how that treats me. It sucks to be having hand problems, which is why, there's a nice transition here, which is why I'm using the Peregrine glove to game. I cannot use a keyboard anymore to game. So this is what I use to, instead of a keyboard. It has inputs, and I'm pressing them to strafe, and then I have a footboard, and I go forward and backwards with the footboard. And then I use the G903 mouse, Logitech. So, at the very least, this has been an amazing source of hope for me, that I can figure shit out. And of course, it's like a great outlet and escape. So, I highly recommend Quicken.